Hey y'all, I am back. It's been a long time, but I am back, y'all. Welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. This video, we are talking about the Braxtons, a new show, technically an old show, but a new show for us over here. Before we get into it, please do not hesitate to hit that subscribe button for me, y'all. This is still a growing channel. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy the content. Share the video where you like to share your content. And comment down below. Let me know what you think about this new season of the Braxtons, this new chapter they're in. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about the show coming back. Let me know what y'all think. Personally, I'm glad they're back, but it is very, very much hard to watch, especially with Tracy not being there. And while we on the topic, rest in peace to Tracy. Rest in power, rest in her beautifulness, just rest in peace to Tracy. I know the family is going through a lot. That's even though, it's what they say it's been like a couple of years since she passed, it's still fresh. And grief is a process and everybody grieves in their own way. So it is heartbreaking still. I remember when it was announced on social media when Tracy died. That was devastating. That was devastating. But yeah, we're gonna get to this review. I know I've been gone. Well, y'all know all the shows been on hiatus, so we ain't had much to talk about. Okay, we were doing College Hill Celebrity Edition that ended. I did not do the season finale, and I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. I didn't have time. I went to Houston last weekend, y'all. Okay, I'm still outside, even though I'm back at work. So I was like, I'm not gonna get to it. It's too late. The show's over. Nobody's talking about it anymore. So it would feel like to me a waste of time to do it and a waste of y'all's time to do it. So we're not going to talk about it. Unfortunately, basically they had graduation and Saucy Santana didn't make it, but he was there to support his castmates. Okay, that was it. Season finale didn't give much anyway. But we got our shows back this weekend. Okay, so we got the Braxtons tonight, season 1, episode 1. And I believe season episode 2 comes on tomorrow. I think it's a Friday night show, which is like, ugh, I thought it was a Thursday night show, but that's okay. We got Family Empire Houston coming back tomorrow. We got Love Marriage Huntsville coming back Saturday, y'all. Ooh, child. Did y'all see that super trailer for Love and Marriage Huntsville? Did we talk? I think we talked about it the last episode we reviewed. I think Bel Air comes back this week, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if it came on tonight, if it's coming on tomorrow. I got to check. My plan is to review Bel Air. Hopefully, it will work out. No promises yet. I'm going to say right now, I'm about 75% sure I will review Bel Air. Okay. Y'all know I'm starting school back August 26th. So, starting school for myself, not my work. I'm going back to school starting August 26th. So, my schedule is going to be busy, but I'm going to try to make it work. Y'all, I'm just trying to get rid of the housekeeping stuff. If you're not into the housekeeping, you can fast forward the video. No shame, no harm, no foul. Love it. What is it called? Love is Blind UK. I am watching the show. I don't think I will be reviewing it. It's just too much. That's too many Love is Blinds. They got Love is Blind Brazil. I seen they got Love is Blind Mexico. It's too much. Okay, it's too much. I just want to watch UK and enjoy it. And also, I'm not really like I'm enjoying it, but I'm not like invested like the last season of Love is Blind. So I'm not going to do UK. I may do some shorts about UK though, so just keep your notification button on because there may be a little something about Love Is Blind UK. We might do a little something. We might touch on some things because there's some stuff to talk about. But yeah, I don't have time. All them names and them people, child. Some of them people I thought I was mixing them up. I thought that was somebody else, and they was looking the same to me. Child, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I'm not saying all those people look the same. I'm just saying it's too much, okay, on my plate to review Love is Blind UK. Too much. But anyway, let's get into the Braxtons. So another reason why I wanted to review the Braxtons because when they had the Braxton Family Values, that was one of those shows that I was like, dang, I wish I reviewed YouTube videos back then. I mean, did YouTube back then because I definitely would have reviewed Braxton Family Values when it was in its heyday. Okay, I definitely would have been reviewing that. Um, So I gotta check my phone for my Instacart, y'all. So, anywho, yeah. So I was like, okay, the Braxtons are finally back. I was surprised they came back, to be honest. Mama E says she happy they back. They should have never left. I know it got kind of weird at the end of the show, and Tracy really wanted to do the show, so I feel like they are doing it mainly to honor Tracy, and that's cool with me. I missed the title, Braxton Family Values. It's hard to say the Braxtons. I kept wanting to say the Braxton Family Values, and I missed the theme song. Like they don't have the theme song anymore. I love that theme song. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about the show. This will be more of a discussion, you know. Um, the one interesting thing that I am liking about the show is they've kind of broken the fourth wall. So basically, the show is documenting them coming back to reality TV, right? And documenting everything after the last show and Tracy passing and all that. So they kind of show the cameras getting them ready and all that. And I like that. And they talk about being back on the show again, right? And I like that, you know, it's not the elephant in the room, right? We're addressing, yeah, we're back on reality TV. We're back doing this show. And I like the way they are doing that. So basically, we see, you know, these montage of scenes of them, you know, getting things together for the show, filming and all that. They kind of show us a scene in black and white that we're going to see later on. They show in black and white the like kind of behind the scenes, if you want to say. Anyway, so the first like actual main scene we have is Vaughn and Trina. You know, Trina married Vaughn on the old show, on a previous show. And so she's just talking about how all the sisters are going to be getting together for a dinner, and Toni has some news and she's not sure, you know, what the news is going to be. Vaughn asked her, you know, how does she feel being back on the show, filming again? And she said she has mixed feelings. She's surprised they would want to do it. She thought everyone would be getting closer since Tracy died, but it hasn't been the case for the sisters. And she thought everyone would lean on each other, but they're really not. She's also worried about little Kevin. And we find out later on that little Kevin is getting a divorce. And I remember he married that girl so young. I'm shocked. I mean, yeah. um, and I guess he's not really in touch with his dad. And Trina was like, you know, she wasn't trying to say nothing bad about his dad, but you know, he was grieving as well. But sounds like they're not too fond of Big Kevin anymore. That's what it sounds like. It was giving. Wasn't there some scandals or something with Big Kevin? I fell off with the Braxtons. There was one point in the Braxtons I didn't finish watching it. Maybe the last couple seasons I did not watch Braxton Family Values. I remember when it kind of got weird and they were having other people on there because Tracy wanted to do the show and everybody else didn't. And then I don't know if I watched it when they came back from doing that. I think I did, but yeah, them last couple of seasons I didn't watch. So if I'm missing something, fill me in the comments, please. So yeah, Vaughn and Trina were talking about that. Trina was making some kind of dip. She said beef chorizo. No. Anyway, Trina was telling him, you know, they're going to have the dinner. All the girls are going to get together. She feels like they need to do counseling and all that. All right. That scene didn't really go on too long. Then I think the next scene we get is when they do go to the dinner. We see everyone show up for the dinner. Towanda and Trina ended up twinning. They were wearing the same outfit. Mama Braxton was saying, you know, in the confessional, we're back. She feels like the show should have never left. You know, she's talking about the void of Tracy not being there. And in the opening of the show, everyone's talking about, you know, how it's weird Tracy's not there. And they do show us different flashback scenes of Tracy dealing with her illness. We see an oxygen tank. We see her looking very kind of frail, and it was kind of hard to see. It was hard to see. So they go to the restaurant for dinner. Everyone meets up. They notice, you know, the empty chair. They said Tracy would have been sitting there holding everyone's purses, and they just talked about how Tracy, you know, she brought so much laughter and fun. And Tracy was the fun one on the show. She was definitely the funny one, the one giving the comic relief. Like she didn't take things too seriously. I always felt a little bad for Tracy watching Braxton Family Values. I feel like I don't want to say she didn't get her moment. I don't know. It just I don't know if it felt like she was in the background. I don't know. It just said it just was something. And I know that she couldn't go on to go be with the group because she had got pregnant with little Kevin, and I know that was always a sore spot, right? So anyway, they were talking about just their memories of Tracy, and they showed the scene. They were talking about I think Trina was talking about the butterflies, and they were talking about because the necklaces they all had on, and they said Tracy wanted them to carry her with them, and not the butterflies, the hummingbirds. They spoke about butterflies at one point as well, I think towards the end, but also hummingbirds. So Tracy loved hummingbirds, and they talked about how Tracy had on her back these tattoo of the 5 hummingbirds representing all of the sisters. And so they were just talking about all the memories of that, and it was sad. I watched the episode the first time when I was in Houston on my phone, and I was trying not to cry the whole time. And I watched it today, rewatched it today to do this review on my TV, and again, I'm trying not to cry through the whole thing because oh gosh, this whole episode was heartbreaking. I hope I can make it through the show because it is hard. It is hard to watch. It's hard to watch. It's very sad. But I feel like it's done very well. It's done well. And Trina was talking about. I mean, not Trina. I think Tamar was talking about the hummingbirds as well and the tattoo. And Tamar posted a picture with the tattoo and a post about it. I think after the episode aired. Now, speaking of Tamar, while we're on the subject, before I forget. I seen on the social media streets that Tamar was talking about her family is toxic and she glad her husband rescued her, talking about JR, I guess, and her kids, and her husband saved her life and all this stuff. And the reality TV ish is hard, and she's going back into treatment, and her family is this and that. And I was like, girl, this is not for the glory and the kingdom and the Father, the Holy Spirit. This is not. This is not glorifying God. This is not. Like, what are you doing? What are you saying? Why are you? We just had this, difficult episode. We trying to honor Tracy. It's very sad. And then here you come out of left field with some bull, with some mess on the social media. Why? Why? Like, take us out the group chat, Tamar. Take us out the group chat. Like, it's what? Now your family is toxic, girl. And maybe the family is toxic. I don't know if the family is toxic or not. I know their families have their issues. Their family has their issues, just like all of our families have our issues, right? But it was just like, girl, not the time and the place. Like, why are you doing this? Why? Like, Tamar, please stop doing stuff like that. See, this is what makes people mad at you, Tamar. And y'all know I like me some Tamar too. But when you doing these shenanigans and these antics, I can't. I can't. Like, girl, stay off the social media. Stay off. You too grown, Tamar. You're too grown, girl. Anyway, back to the episode. I just didn't want, I didn't want to forget that for y'all. So, yeah, they're all sitting at the table and they're talking about the idea about going to grief counseling. And Trina said, she's not ready. And Trina was getting emotional. And Mama Evelyn shared that they all need to do grief counseling, but especially Trina, because she has some things she needs to get out. And Trina was struggling at that table. She was trying not to cry. It was hard. It was very hard to watch. And so everybody was getting a little bit emotional. And so Trina changed the subject because she wanted to hear what Toni had to say. And Toni was scared to share her news because last time it was hard for her to share when she got diagnosed with lupus. So Toni was sharing how it was like 15 years ago when she no longer do her Vegas residency, and they told her she could not perform again or she would pass away. And again, now she's having something going on with her heart. So I guess a few months ago she got a stent put in her heart. And then she went into the doctors and she thought she was just getting what was it, an angio? It was something. I forgot the procedure, but no, it was pre-op because they needed to look into her heart. And so they did something to her, and they said if they caught it right before she would have had a heart attack, because if she would have had a heart attack, she would not be there today. And they said that basically she's going to eventually have to have a bypass, because if she does have a heart attack, she's gone. Like, that's it. What do they call it? Widow something. It was widow something. Anyway, um, so she was sharing that with the family, and she was saying, the stress of it every day, of knowing that she could pass away, and what about her sons, Diesel and Denim, and she got really upset about it. And the family gathered around her, and they just remind her what was what's in the Bible. We're not going to speak it to an existence. And they told her, anytime you're having those thoughts of that anxiety about that, you have to throw that away. And that's hard. That's hard. And Toni was saying in the confessional, like, it just sucks to bring this up because Tracy just passed, and she feels like she was always the sick one, not Tracy, and then Tracy passed. And so it's just really hard to deal with. And also, Toni has been going back and forth from LA to Atlanta because she's doing her show with Cedric the Entertainer. She's going to have a Vegas residency, right? I'm guessing it already happened. I remember seeing something about those tickets, so I'm assuming it's already happening now. Anyway, so they all, they rallied around her, and that was a good moment. And, Toni has dealt with her different illnesses in the past, lupus, and there are things with her heart. And so hopefully, she can beat this as well. We're going to lift her up in prayer, as well as the whole family, her kids, everybody. So they also talked about little Kevin and how, they mentioned him getting a divorce. And so Tamar was shocked, because Tamar said that, she hangs out with him and catches up with him quite often, and he never mentioned getting a divorce. And so they're going to, check on him and make sure he's good. So then we see a scene with Towanda and Trina. So Trina shares that her and Towanda are close because they both live in Atlanta. And then Tracy and their brother Michael were close because they both lived in the DMV area. And then Toni and Tamar were closer because they both lived in LA. So they met up for lunch, and Towanda was just sharing about her alopecia. So Towanda is bald. And I was wondering, like, why is Towanda bald? So she said, well, remember we were all going to cut our hair. She's like, but Trina, you never cut yours. And Trina shared, because of the shape of her head, is more like Mama Evelyn's, that she was not trying to be bald. And I totally understand. It's not for everybody. And I remember when they all said they were going to go bald. And I remember when Tamar went bald. So Towanda is bald due to her alopecia condition. And so she said people were emailing her and texting her, DMing her, asking her, was she sick and was she okay and all that. And she's like, no, she just has alopecia. That's what's going on, and deal with it. She looks pretty with the bald head. She looks very pretty. So, she said she never thought about it, her body and all that. So there's that. Trina also shared about, I guess there was this video, and they showed the video. Oh, that was sad too. Basically, it was a video of Tracy, and you could tell she was really sick at this time. She was rubbing Tawanda's hair, and I guess she would always rub Tawanda's hair, and Towanda had, patches, bald patches in her hair, and Tracy would brush her hair, and Towanda saying, you used to, do my hair like this all the time, Tracy, huh? And Tracy's like, yeah. And so then Towanda decided to cut her hair off, and Tracy told her, she should do it. That scene was sad too. That scene was sad too. And side note, Mama Evelyn shared that Trina also needed the grief counseling because she was there when Tracy took her last breath. And I was like, oh gosh, I can't even talk about it. All right, anyway. Whew, that made me start thinking of my grandma. Okay. Okay. No, we're not crying on camera. Anywho. Them oxygen tanks. Every time I see them oxygen tanks, I thought of my grandma. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Anywho. So, like I said, Trina and Towanda were catching up, right? And they were having lunch, and then they talked about, doing the grief counseling and all that, and meeting up as a family. And they talked about checking on little Kevin. So they called him up. They asked him, who did his hair. He said his wife did it. His ex-wife did it. And they were like, what? And he was like, yeah, she did my hair, but we're getting the divorce. And they asked him, did he want to, do the counseling? And he said, yes. He said his heart, it didn't really hit him till like Christmas time, and he wanted his mom to be there. I'm like, oh, that's so sad. So I feel bad for little Kevin. Oh, I feel so bad for little Kevin. So anyway, they decided, to do grief counseling. Then they did the cheers thing that everybody does now. I'm not above you. I'm not below you. I'm right beside you. You know how y'all do. So anywho, that was that scene. So then, the next scene we get is oh, let me tell them something, y'all, because they be y'all know how the Instacart people gotta be like, hey, I'm doing your order. I'm here for you. Here we go. Let's do it. hmm Then they want to substitute stuff and all that. Yeah. Anyway, so where was we at? Okay, so now we get down to the grief counseling. So everybody goes down to Toni's house. I guess I don't know if it was dinner or lunch. They were saying the dad was still awake, so I'm assuming he must have been late at night. So maybe it was dinner. So anyway, they were preparing Tracy's favorite meal. It was oxtails. Mama E was making them biscuits. Now that's one thing I miss about the Braxton reality show. They used to always be cooking some good food. All of them be in the kitchen cooking that good food. Mama E be in there cooking. Oh, Trina had on them gloves. Tamar was like, why you got those surgical gloves on? She said she's cleaning them oxtails. Love me some oxtails. Miss Evelyn said Tracy loved them buttermilk biscuits, so she making them biscuits. Trina also had an outfit she was going to wear that Tracy gave her. So everybody came to the house. Towanda, checked on Toni on her way there and did a temperature check. And Toni said, it's hard. She really misses her sister. She got emotional in her confessional as well. She's trying to, stay positive. She said something about a caterpillar and a butterfly. I don't know, it's a caterpillar. Maybe Tracy's a butterfly. That's where the butterfly came in. And so she did something corny about Unbreak My Heart. And Towanda was like, girl, your song. Anyway, Toni said she knows she needs to do the grief counseling though. Towanda seems like the one that always, even in the previous show, like the one that kind of is the doer and like keeping everybody where they need to be kind of person. So anyway, and I just wonder who checks on Towanda. I hope Towanda is being checked on also. So they get down to the house, Tamar comes, and Tamar's asking them, okay, what are our intentions today? Trina's like, it's, whatever you want to do. And so Tamar said, I'm just here to be supportive because I've done all kind of counseling. She said she's done psychiatric counseling and this and that and spiritual. But I'm like, girl, but that don't mean you're not participating in this. Like, I don't know what she meant by I'm just here to be a support. I didn't get that. Unless she's already done her own grief counseling. I don't know what she was implying by that. Anywho, then Tamar's like, I'm not trying to be funny, but where did spirit come from? And so, hold on, y'all. Lord. So they were like, where did spirit come from? That's what Tamar said. And so Toni's like, well, why you calling her spirit? They were like, that's her name. So Trina said, she met spirit 5 years ago. And they were like, okay, but what's the first time you spoke to her? She said when Gabe passed away is the first time she spoke with her to do grief counseling. Then she's like, she's really good, but I just wasn't ready. And Trina, they did a montage scene about her and Gabe, and she talked about when her and Gabe were together, and he passed away from cancer at 43. I remember when he proposed. I remember the episode, and I remember when he passed away. I did not realize he was only 43, though. That's really sad. And so they were asking, okay, what did you say, about the family? And she was just saying, well, she's good with talking with grief and she can get help you get the issues out or whatever. So then she went to go change. She came back. They go down there. You can see all the camera people getting them in place and telling them how to walk in and all that. So they were all like, oh, we got to go sit down. Oh, Toni, or Tamar was like, let's have some tea. And she's telling Toni to bring out her good stuff because Toni got the good. She got the good tea sets, but Toni don't really be in that house in Atlanta, so she didn't really know like where all of her stuff was like that. So Toni said she likes to have tea, and Tamar does too. And Toni knows that Tamar knows that she has all the nice stuff. Tamar's like, she don't got no plasticware up in here. So anywho, then they all sat down to do the grief counseling. And with Spirit, okay, Spirit had her gray bob wig on, okay. Um, Hold on again, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this stuff ordered. Let me just tell y'all what's going on. Okay, so I'm doing the Daniel fast, if anybody is familiar with it. And I started Wednesday, which was yesterday, and it's a struggle. So I've been trying to buy all the healthy stuff, and I needed a few more things tonight. I've been doing okay. I did eat a Snickers today, so I fell off a little bit. But no caffeine with them students I got is a struggle. It's a struggle. I'm supposed to be doing it a week. Lord, I just hope and pray I make it. I just hope and pray I make it. That's all I'm gonna say. I just hope and pray I make it. Anyway, back to the show. I wish my air would keep back on. I'm hot. So, anywho, okay. So Spirit is like, okay, what's good? Like, what do you guys want to talk about? She asked Trina, like, okay, why did you bring me here today? So Trina said, can I not go first? Because I don't want to go first because I'm not ready. And she was like, okay. And she's like, okay, so, what is the purpose of me being here? What type of issues, she let them know, like, everyone grieves differently. Everyone, it's a process. So everyone's grief might not look like your grief, and it could bring out other issues or discussions today. So, what is everyone feeling like? And so Tony's like, I don't know really what I feel like, 'cause nobody was speaking up. So Toni finally did. And so Spirit was like, okay, are you guys disconnected from your emotions? And they're like, no, we're not disconnected. Toni was like, I just don't know what to expect from today. I've never done this. Like, I'm just not sure. So everybody's just acting like they didn't know what they showed up for. And I was kind of confused. But maybe they're just nervous to do the grief counseling. And maybe they're not ready to share some things on camera. I think they're not ready to expose some things on camera again. I don't know. So they were like, not really saying much. And Spirit was like, well, I can't help you guys if we're not going to talk about the issues that are going on. Other issues may come out. And Towanda said usually when they have these therapy sessions, other issues come up. So she's not going to be surprised if it happens again. We had little Kevin and their dad was on camera, and he had, I guess, his name tag or something on his shirt. And they were surprised he was still awake. That's all I said. It must have been late at night. So anyway, basically it ended up being to be continued with nobody answering or saying anything. So we're going to see where this goes. Maybe we'll figure out why Tamar is making these posts as well as the season goes on. Y'all let me know. Are y'all watching the Braxtons? Did you watch this first episode? How do you feel about the show being back? Do you think they should have done it, not done it? Do you think it's a good way to honor Tracy? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to y'all very soon. Bye.